So I was trying to record this video yesterday, did not have the opportunity to record this, and I really wanted to share this with you guys because I feel like this is such a powerful reminder of everything as you pushed out, but this gives like a different perspective that most people really don't talk about. So it's like mind is like a mirror. The mind is luminous, but is polluted by the toxins dumped into it, meaning it's polluted by your negative thoughts, your toxic thoughts, the beliefs and the limited beliefs that you hold, all of this, what society has told you, the programming of other people, all of that has tainted your mind. Okay? So, this is a translation updated for our times, but of a well-known passage found in the early discourses of the Buddha. It has been taken by some to point toward a transpersonal consciousness that is somehow abiding below, behind, or above the consciousness arising each moment in a person's sensory or mental experience. But it does not seem to have this sense in the early literature. Rather, we find the image of a pool of limpid water that, when still, can clearly reflect the nature of whatever impinges on it. It is not a force larger than ourselves, but a process taking place within ourselves. Now, I know that there's this whole notion that manifesting is not a process, but whatever goes on internally, that is a process. Okay? Just like doing film photography, there is a process that cannot be rushed, because if you rush it, then you're going to mess up the image. Why do so many of us, myself included, want to rush the process? Quit rushing the process, because it's doing yourself a disservice. Stop. Like, I know you want it now, but when you try to rush it, you're bound to make mistakes. So, moving on, with no individualizing characteristics beyond the basic function of knowing an object, what? Knowing your desires. Knowing that your desires are already yours. Okay? Mind is thus neither the source of light, like a shining sun, as some Hindus would have it, nor the reflected light of something greater, like the moon, as some Christians would have it, but a shimmering pool of contingent potential, capable of reflecting sun, moon, and any other object that happens to dance upon its surface. Its function is more important than its essence, and it is influenced significantly by the nature of what gets stirred into its pristine waters. And what does that tell you? That we all have our own way of thinking. We all have our own perceptions. And depending on who is viewing the situation, it's going to be a different perspective. It's going to be a different subjective experience. So whatever you are telling consciousness, that is what's getting stirred into the water. Okay? In this sense, consciousness itself is like a mirror, everyone as you pushed out, okay, whose only function is to reflect whatever it encounters. We know that. The content and quality of the experience is provided by other mental processes. In particular, it is the karma formations of the sankhara aggregate that tint the experience of an object with mental states and emotional responses. And what does this say? This is basically saying that whatever limited beliefs that you have, you could be literally having your SP show up as the version of you themselves that you want, but because of your experience, because you don't feel worthy, because you don't feel perfect, because you don't feel amazing, because you don't feel chosen, whatever the case may be, whatever limiting belief that you're telling yourself, whatever story you are telling yourself, you're not going to be able to see what you really truly want and see things as they really are, because you are tainted by the beliefs that you hold about yourself and the world around you. And you have to be willing to change that and let that go. Whenever we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, or think of an object, we do so with a particular attitude or emotion that gets stirred in like an additive to consciousness. These can either be wholesome or unwholesome, healthy or toxic, and can thus either clarify or contaminate the mind's ability to know itself and its environment. I literally just said that, right? If a man with good sight were to examine his own facial reflection in it, he would neither know nor see it as it really is. And this is important because if your glasses are all fogged up, how do you expect to actually see things as they are if your glasses are already fogged up? This is going to be a part 2. There's going to be a part 2 because I have another page that has longer information on it.